Welcome into Jets Game Day, presented by Audi. I'm your host, Caroline Hendershot, alongside Eric Allen and Bart Scott. Now, gentlemen, let's be honest, you're still into those Thanksgiving leftovers at this moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm ready for some exercise and some fasting at this point.
Nothing like day 2 turkey.
Day 1 turkey still isn't good, Bart. Like, I will go bout for bout with you on this one. It's not the best part of Thanksgiving.
Then you cut out, make a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, I think the best part of Thanksgiving is being around your family and football, of course, but dessert.
Yes, agreed.
Family's overrated.
Oh my God, we've got the Grinch. We've got the Grinch coming out early over here.
That's the Matt Backer for you.
All right, let's get out of the tunnel and set the table for this Jets Week 13 matchup, because they're hosting the Atlanta Falcons, who are coming off a win against the Saints. So, Bart, with 6 games remaining on the schedule, what are things you would like to see against the Falcons and beyond to close out the season from the Jets?
Well, I like to see another dominant performance from the defense. I like to see the offense continue to grow. I like to see the offense continue to go through Breece Hall. I'm waiting for Garrett Wilson to come back so I can see what this puzzle looks like with all the pieces. I'm encouraged by the offensive line and its dominance. So I just want to see them continue to grow and continue to grow these packages and everybody learn and accept their new roles.
What are you seeing, EA, in the team's foundation as we head into the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, Bart just touched upon it, that the defense is playing really well. Last game against the Ravens, you hold Baltimore to 241 yards, 4.2 yards per play. The Ravens were 2 of 11 on third down. You're playing better team ball there. On the offensive side, you have that foundation of a young offensive line. How about Breece Hall? He's having a career year. And I like what you're doing at the receiver position with John Mechie, who's come in 2 consecutive games with touchdowns. Adonai Mitchell is getting down the field in separation. So I think it's just a matter of time for this Jets offense to break out. And I think they have a good chance here Sunday against Atlanta.
Yes, I agree with that. And John Mechie, like you mentioned, he's been an immediate impact player for the Jets. So he's been meshing very well with the offense. All right, let's get into our top storylines presented by HCL Tech. EA, you're up first. What's your top storyline heading into Week 13?
I think the Jets have a great opportunity here because you're talking about an Atlanta team that is 4-7. Yes, they won last Sunday, but prior to that, they had dropped 5 consecutive games. Then after that ball game, you're facing the Miami Dolphins at home, and Miami is 4-7. And you can look ahead. After a game against Jacksonville, you're going to face the New Orleans Saints, who are 2-9. And I think the Jets, who are 4 or 5 plays away against New England or Baltimore, can win these games coming up. So I see opportunity on the horizon.
Bart Scott, what about you?
I mean, for me, I'm fascinated with this running back matchup, this duel. You talk about you have 2 of the most complete running backs in all of football. You talk about 3 down backs. You talk about Bijan Robinson versus Breece Hall. I think it's fascinating because you know they have, even though they're not playing each other directly, you know that they're compared to each other. And I think Breece Hall wants to prove that he can outperform Bijan Robinson, who had an electric game last week against the Saints. I think this is a tale of 2 of the most all-around balanced offenses in all of football. When you think about from the running back position, I want to see how it turns out.
You know, I like that you mentioned both of those running backs. I think Breece Hall is going to have a bigger game than Bijan Robinson. Heard it here first. All right, don't go anywhere, because when we come back on Jets Game Day, we have an exclusive one-on-one interview with offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand. Top Storylines is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
How different is this week for you? Because typically you're preparing to play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, having been in Detroit for 5 years, it was an accelerated week. It was a normal Thursday game for us. So this week, knowing that we play on the traditional Sunday game, it still maybe speeds it up just a little bit, but yeah, it'll be a little different not playing on Thursday.
Is your family pumped that you're going to be home for at least a little bit?
Yeah, they're excited that we'll be able to get home for a good meal in the afternoon, evening. Yeah.
What do you think about where you guys are at offensive unit at this point in the year?
I think we're an offensive unit that is making weekly improvements, is what I would say. And I would bet everybody would agree that we're not where we want to be or strive to go. But we're doing a lot of things on a weekly basis that show promise, that we're seeing the DNA of what we want to be, on offense.
Tyrod making a second start there against Baltimore, obviously started earlier in the year against Tampa. A consummate professional. What did you make of the operation? Obviously, you guys want to score more points, but did you guys take a step and there's something to build on heading into Atlanta?
Yeah, I do. It's a different operation with Tyrod in there. Because we use a wristband when he's in the game, as opposed to previously when Justin was playing, that it would be more of a dictation where I call the play, like it's sort of not a traditional sense, but it's just different. So then when you're given the wristband and he's now calling it off of the wristband in there, I don't have to say as much on the headset. I say flip 62. But I thought he did a really good job of getting the guys in and out of the huddle quickly to the line of scrimmage so that we have plenty of time to make any adjustments that we needed to make.
What's it like working with a guy like that who entered the league in 2011? Yeah. This is his 7th NFL team. He just made his 60th start. He's about to make his 61st start against the Falcons.
Yeah. It's just having a guy with that type of experience around. He's seen so much football because he's been around it, whether he's been in the game or been a number 2. He's been in this league for a long, long time. So there's a lot of things that he's seen where I can say something to him and then he'll know it. And he gives good feedback to me as well, like certain things that he likes or he's been comfortable with. But it's been really good.
Is he always calm amidst the storm? He never seems to be flustered at all.
No, he really is. He's a never too high, never too low guy. But he'll show some emotion at times when he feels it necessary or when he feels like he needs to. But he's a calming presence, that's for sure. And I think that's really good for some of the young players that we have on our team. We've got a handful of first or second year players that are out there playing right now, and to have that kind of calming presence, I think is a good thing.
Let's talk about the receivers a little bit. John Mechie, his production immediately. Why?
John is one of the first people in the building, and he's one of the last people out of the building every single day. You can walk into the indoor or in the early hours of the morning, and he's in there like trying to get the jugs machine, whatever he's trying to. He's here watching tape. He's in here watching tape with Tyrod. I think he talked about that, and again, one of his press conferences. But he is a pro. Like, you want to talk about what a pro is? That's John Mechie is that. He's a very instinctual, smart football player that loves the game. He's a student of the game, and he wants to just help this team be as good as it can be.
In the end zone, back-to-back games. I asked you about this last week. You said that not only has John jumped into the playbook, but Ed and I as well. What have you seen from him approach-wise, Mitchell, and then also as far as what he's bringing to the field?
It's just darn near the same thing as John, where he has taken the playbook and he's absorbed it, the game plans for that week, and knowing where to line up and learning the details of his routes and the blocking schemes in the run game. Both of those guys, quite frankly, have surpassed my expectations of getting a receiver in the building at the trade deadline. I've been around that a time or two before, and it doesn't always translate so quickly. But in this case, to me, they've both done a great job. Credit to them and credit to the receiver coaches, Sean Jefferson and Junior Taylor.
Let's end here. Do you have to call it differently now that you're working with a team that plays in the Northeast, outdoors, as opposed to in Detroit, you and Ben are operating and, hey, we got our December home game. We know what it's going to be. It's going to be 68, climate controlled, whereas, hey, sure, you guys are going to be here and you want to be playing in December and in January in the future.
Yeah, I think there is a weather factor to it, and you have to take that into consideration when you're putting the game plan in. What is it going to be? What are we expecting? And what does that kind of lead the game to, how can you win that specific game? I think that does have to get taken into consideration.
Tanner, appreciate your time as always.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Coming up on Jets Game Day, Bart Scott breaks down the Falcons and the Jets. What else do you have for us, Bart?
Hey, thanks, Caroline. Here's my next breakdown. All season long, I've been searching for the Pepsi Tailgate MVP. So let's hit the parking lots of MetLife because Jets Tailgate is incomplete without Pepsi. Bart Scott here at MetLife Stadium, my former home, and we're here to find a Pepsi Tailgate MVP that delivers bold flavors to pair with this Pepsi Zero Sugar, baby. My taste buds are already salivating. I can taste it already. Can't wait. I can smell it. Oh, wow. Is that the T-bone?
No, that's filet mignons, baby. Yeah,
What kind of sauce we got going here?
We got a blue cheese gorgonzola sauce. I got it from my Uncle Joe when I got it from him when he was 95 years old. Butter, blue cheese, and gorgonzola cheese. And we melt it down slow.
So how do we get this char? How do we get this bark on here like that?
We cook it a hot grill, steam it hot grill, and it's all marinated filet mignon with a nice soy and garlic base marinade, and it's the taste is unbelievable.
They told me to find you got the impressive bus. Where did the inspiration come, and why is the tailgate so important?
Our tailgate is all family. You know, it's a family thing. My kids are small, and now they're large, they're big guys. We've been doing this with my wife for 34 years. I've been coming here to tailgate.
Well, you know why I'm here.
You gotta taste a little food, my friend.
I'm here to taste some food. I'm also here because we're looking for the baddest tailgate in all the land. Let's cut the chase.
All right.
Let's get right to it. I'm more of a medium well type of guy.
Okay, that's me too. That's why it's like that.
I got a lot of bark. Got a lot of bark.
Yeah, yeah. Once you get it, you always want it.
It hits you right back here.
Yes. A little twang back there, right? A little twang.
And nothing goes better with that twang than a Pepsi Zero Sugar. My man Sean deserves the apron for being one of the tailgate goats. You're our Pepsi Tailgate MVP.
Wow. J-E-T-S! Jets, Jets, Jets!
Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Now it's time for Inside the Numbers, brought to you by the New York Lottery. Our first number is 65, as in the amount of receiving yards John Mechie racked up Week 12 against Baltimore. Heading into his fourth game with the green and white, Mechie is quickly emerging as the Jets' top pass catcher, with Garrett Wilson still on injured reserve. Our next number is 26, as in Adonai Mitchell's long gain against Baltimore, adding 13 yards after the catch. Like Mechie, Mitchell is quickly emerging as a threat in this offense, and once G5 gets back on the field, look out for this trio in the future. Jets fans, your lucky numbers for the week are 65, 4, 26, 13, and 5. Now it's time for a film breakdown presented by Moody's. Bart, what do you have for us this week?
So this week, the Jets defense, last week they dealt with power. This week, they're dealing with speed and agility. This is Bijan Robinson right here, and he's making a case to be the most electrifying back in football. Currently, I think it might be held by McCaffrey, but he's making a case. Saquon Barkley himself said nobody cuts as good as Bijan Robinson, and this play is a great illustration of that. What I want you to pay attention to is the blocking combinations. So you have a cut split here, you have a tight end here in Pitts. This play looks like it's designed to go inside or to the right. But Bijan Robinson has such a great knack for being able to bend it like Beckham. He's going to press the hole, which brings our old friend Demario Davis downhill, but then he's going to try and circle the defense. So to circle the defense, what you need is these guys right here are in some form of man-to-man. So if he goes inside, he draws him. It's Pitt's job to make sure that he gets on the outside of this guy's shoulder to seal everything inside. What we're trying to do is he's trying to get support here because this is the run support. This is the free defender outside the box he can't get. But Bijan has to set up his routes. And how Bijan sets up his routes by coming downhill and then circling and jump cutting. I haven't seen anybody cut like this, in my opinion, since Shady McCoy or Barry Sanders. As he comes in, you watch the play come down, and that's important because now you got this guy coming down, and now you have a condensed formation. So it makes everything more easy. So as we go down, Bijan presses the hole to the right, which draws Demario Davis down. This has support coming down like crazy, We have the seal block here. You got Pitts getting to the outside shoulder. And what you end up with is all this space here. And if Bijan Robinson sees that space, he's going to jut cut and trust his speed, knowing that he can get there faster than anybody. So he circles the defense, and now this is the lone defender here, and now all these guys are chasing. This basically becomes a foot race for pay dirt. It's his job here to make sure he tries to get Bijan to cut back to his help. That's easier said than done. Bijan gets outside. He just gets enough of him to push him out of bounds. That just lets you know just how great he is in pressing the hole, being able to turn the corner. He's out there, and he's a tremendous player with speed, agility, but it's the setup. Right there, jump cut, and that play was designed to cut back all along. He's a dynamic player. Last week they dealt with power. This week the Jets are going to have to deal with speed.
Great stuff as always, Bart. Thank you very much. All right, don't go anywhere because coming up on Jets Game Day, we will be giving our final thoughts as we near kickoff.
Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL.
And what's this first couple weeks been like with the Jets?
It's been awesome. Just getting to know everybody, getting accustomed to the offense, just spending a lot of time with, a lot of new faces that are starting to get a little more familiar. Just embodying the culture that, comes with being a Jet.
When it comes to this team, Atlanta, I know the head coach very well. And offensively, the two backs are two outstanding players, so we have to make sure we're on top of that. The other skilled players, the tight end and the other receiver, Moon, who caught a bomb last week, we got to make sure we're on top of that. Defensively, I thought they did a really good job of really drafting these hybrid players. They could have a lot of packages. So Oberg's doing a really good job of mixing and matching these guys.
That was your locker room roundup presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'. Now it is time to make your case, gentlemen. Bart, we're starting with you. Kirk Cousins, solid against the Saints last week. He threw 2 touchdowns. How can this Jets secondary get the best of him?
Well, you have a stationary target, so what you have to do is get him off his spot. You get him off his spot by running line games, U games, and giving him pressure up the middle, flushing him, knowing that he's never a threat to run, right? So you can play him like a traditional quarterback where you can expose edges, where you can come down because you can circle back and still find ways to catch him because he doesn't want to get hit. He's an older quarterback. He'd rather scramble to throw than it is to run. That's an advantage for the Jets. So if they utilize that and get him off his spot, he becomes very, very ordinary and average, and he starts seeing the rush and not really looking down the field to make big plays.
EA, Breece Hall has 1,067 yards from scrimmage on the season so far. How many scrimmage yards do you expect him to have, not only in this game, but also the next home game?
I like that you mentioned Breece Hall. He's had 6 games this year where he's had at least 100 yards from scrimmage. I say he's going to make it 7 against Atlanta. The Falcons get after the quarterback. Jeff Ulbrich led defense here, but they have been susceptible on the ground. I think we're going to see a big rushing game out of Breece Hall, and he's coming off his best pass-catching game of the season against the Ravens, where he showed what he can do with the yards after the catch. Then the next game against Miami, I say he makes it 8. I say he goes for over 100 yards from scrimmage against the Dolphins as well.
Okay, I like these predictions. All right, let's get into our final thoughts. Bart, I'm going to give you the floor first. What are your final thoughts heading into this matchup?
My final thoughts is this: the Jets have an opportunity to continue to build their brand, develop their brand. They know who they want to be and how they want to get there, and you just got to continue being who that is every day. I think it's talking about building leadership. Watching some of the players that they lost, being able to build, and new guys are stepping into leadership roles, and attitude reflects leadership. So the attitude I want to see is the Jets are saying we don't play second fiddle to anybody. I want them to see them finish the season strong, and it starts against Atlanta.
It does start against the Falcons. You're talking about an opportunity right here for the green and white to get one. If they play the game that they played against New England and Baltimore, they will be on the winning side of things. And veteran philosopher Harrison Phillips said this week, you may have beaten me yesterday, you may beat me today. Hell, you may even beat me tomorrow, but in the end, I'm going to be on top, and I think the Jets are going to be on top on Sunday.
That quote from Harrison Phillips, that could be out of a fortune cookie, I feel like. That is a good one from him.
I think that's where he got it.
Exactly. Thanks, everybody, so much for watching Jets Game Day. We will see you next week when the Jets will be wearing their special rivalries uniforms as they host the Miami Dolphins.